I'm back! Today's date, that's a good question. Mind blanking, words not there. Yes, I've been waiting for this email. Anyways. Hi, I'm Reagan Elizabeth, and this is an update on how college life is going. I don't even know where to start. So, I'm driving back from Minneapolis right now. I just dropped off my mom at the airport like an hour ago. So I'm basically in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I thought I'd just do an update of school, how I'm feeling, what's going on. So I'm at North Dakota State right now doing radiology. Okay, so I'm doing good in classes. I'm getting straight A's. But yeah, it's been a little bit of a struggle trying to just find my people, if that makes sense. Because going to Africa this past summer, I finally got connected into my church in Arizona and finally knew people. And then I left after being home from Africa for a month. So I had to pretty much start from scratch, plus not having my parents or my boyfriend with me. It's been a little bit of a struggle. But a lot of campuses around the United States have this club called Chi Alpha, and it's basically a club for Christian students. So at least at NDSU, we have main service on Thursdays, and then you can sign up for a small group. NDSU's Chi Alpha grew so much this year with how many freshmen are going that they had to split it up into 2 services on Thursday nights. But they don't have enough small group leaders to be making more small groups. So basically my small group is 15 to 18 girls. It's harder to get to know one another when there's so much going on. Yeah, so it's been a little bit of a struggle just to find my people. But me and my roommate are getting along pretty well. We don't have any classes together, so we pretty much only spend time with each other in the dorm or when we go to Chi Alpha or small group, or we go to church on Sundays. Just something to get used to. It's just hard to put yourself out there and everything. And we're both looking around, and it's everybody's already got their little cliques in high school. And we don't have that yet. But it's not we want giant groups of people, you know. And another thing I've been struggling with is my choice of major. After the first couple weeks of classes, I was the classes are fine, it's all gen eds, but I don't know that I see myself doing radiology anymore. So we have mandatory meetings with our advisors every so often throughout each term. And so I met with mine last week. We had some assignments we had to finish before we could even meet with her. So it was goal setting, planning out your next couple semesters of classes. So I filled that out. And then I went into my meeting knowing that I wanted to explore other majors and see what that would look like and try to figure out, because I had a list of possible majors that I was considering. So I brought that up to her. She said, keep all my radiology classes for next semester, which I'm only partly understanding, because if I'm not sure I love this, why would I keep doing the classes? But also their course schedule for radiology is so, it's you don't have a lot of wiggle room because of the absolute classes you need. and then your second 2 years are an internship, and she didn't want me to like be put behind by switching my major and then switching back potentially. But so I left that meeting with like no useful information. And I scheduled a meeting with the marketing advisor because that's one of my possible majors. The advisor for the undecided students is the professor for the university studies class. So I decided to schedule a meeting with him, which I had this past week as well. And it was pretty helpful to like bounce ideas back and forth with him, just because he knew a little bit more about what NDSU offers and how to go about it and everything. So the majors I'm considering right now are marketing, obviously, because I scheduled a meeting with her. Possibly nursing, and then I went in there with education. And then cosmetology has also been interesting me, but everybody I talk to says they don't see me pursuing that and doing that. So I'm like struggling with that part of it. But I went in there mostly to consider marketing and education. So I went in there to talk to him about those. We kind of looked at what those look like. It kind of felt like a little therapy session, you know, because it was like he's asking me questions to try to figure out what else might be having an impact on what I'm doing. And then NDSU also has this thing called Focus to Career. So it's like 5 different tests that you can take with like your skill, your talent, your work values you want, but like 5 personality tests to give you, and then you can look at your scores individually or put them all together, and it'll give you careers that match up with your scores. Looked at my results for that. My top things for one of the tests was, I forget what the test is called, but it was like, my top one was social, and then artistic, and then investigative, which makes sense when you talk to me, but like, I personally don't feel like a very social person unless I absolutely have to be. So that was surprising that was my top score for me. But like, both of the advisors I talked to said that wasn't surprising to them based on the way I was going about everything I was doing. But I went into college knowing I wanted to kind of like force myself to be more extroverted, to meet people and do all the things. He said I looked the happiest talking about marketing and education, which is what my 2 big ones I went in there with anyway. And then we kind of looked at what possible majors I could do as of right now to figure out which definite path I want to go down with those 2. So we looked into English, education, marketing, and then he brought up strategic communications, which marketing, event planning, PR, social media, all that stuff would be under strategic communications. The thing I was struggling with the most towards the beginning of the year, and pretty much why I chose radiology in the first place, was because I know I'm good at like the STEM courses, so like I knew it'd be not absolutely impossible for me to do all of that. But also income, I kept getting stuck on like, I want a steady salary, but I kept getting like, I'm not saying I was like idolizing the income and the money, but like it was pretty high up there on the list, and I just kept getting caught up on like whatever major I choose, like what's the income that could come with it, and would I be happy with it? Because my standards were like not unrealistically high, but like not something I should be basing my future career off of. Like I should be choosing it based on if I'm gonna enjoy the career that I'm choosing. And that was also what I was struggling with radiology, was because I was like, I think that's definitely a career I could like learn to love, but I don't want a career I'm gonna have to learn to love. I want something I'll love right away. and like not be worried about my love going away for it and then being stuck. As of right now, I'm leaning towards strategic communications and then minoring in religious studies, which, like, see, none of this stuff would have even been anything I would have thought about if I didn't meet with the undecided majors advisor. So it was good that I met with him. It felt good to finally say, like, radiology is not what I want to do. I don't know. So that's kind of what I'm going through. I think the only other thing is I know I'm trying to surround myself with the right people, but I'm not like going out of my way to really form those connections. And it was like, how are you allocating your time, talent, treasure, and mind? And that was easy for me to fill out, but like getting to the talent part, it's like I don't think I know what my talents are. And at this point, when I went to fall retreat, I was already questioning my major. I just hadn't like acted on anything yet. And I was talking to everybody in my group, and I was like, I think why I'm struggling with my major so much and like what my future career path could possibly look like is because I don't know what God-given talents and skills I've been blessed with, or like which ones I could really focus on, because obviously everybody has so many, but it's like I don't know what my main skills or talents are that I could include in my everyday life. Yeah. And then just going from Arizona to North Dakota, it was obviously a huge change because I have 2 family members up here. And then leaving my church was really difficult. Like at fall retreat, I bawled my eyes out the first night. What I was struggling with was like my connection to worship, because for me it was like that's how you start church. Like that's how it all opens up, and then you're in the right headspace and you know what's going on, and then you're like ready for a sermon and it's all good. But like not being able to have that connection with the worship team and just not feeling the way I know worship can feel was really difficult for me. So I think that's where I'm at right now. I'm looking into different majors, trying to see what path I'm supposed to follow. If I'm supposed to stay here or go to Arizona. I'm struggling with that part, struggling with the major. And when I change my major, where do I go? Do I stay here? Do I go back home? Basically, the point is, life is imperfect. Plans don't go the way you plan for them to go. And you may feel lost, but gotta trust what God's got for you. And that's what I'm trying to do. So, I think it's my spiel. I don't think I have anything else to say. Just trying to keep my eyes on God and let His hands do the work. But it's difficult sometimes. And I was just talking to my mom about this during breakfast this morning. It's like, I wish, like, I could just sit down for breakfast in the morning and Jesus would sit across from me at the table and say, okay, this is what we're going to do, and this is where we're going to go, and this is what needs to happen. Like, I want to just not visibly, like physically, audibly be able to hear him whisper in my ear and tell me what I'm supposed to do. But not all people have that gift or that talent or that experience in their life, and I need to be okay with that. But, you know, being in a place of struggle and a place of uncertainty, it's difficult to not, like, wish for those kinds of things. Just trying to remember, I'm not in control, he is. I'll end up where he wants me to go. So, that's current college life for me.